confidence builders, some simple techniques that we do that you don't need to be training a long time to be able to do. And they're pretty simple, pretty efficient. They don't take a lot of effort or energy, and a lot of it we're going to be using the opportunities that he presents us. So first thing we try to talk about is distance, making sure that you understand proper distance. If I'm too close, it's going to be harder for me to see, and I have to react a lot faster. He can do things a lot quicker. If I have the opportunity, I want to keep my distance. Whether I talk with my hand and say, hey buddy, I don't have a problem. I want to keep him a little bit past my foot, a little bit past my hand, where he has to take a step in order to hit me. That's going to slow his strike down a little bit so that I can read it a little bit more. The closer we are, the faster things are going to happen. So by staying farther away where he has to take that step to get me, I control the distance. He takes a step in towards me, I can take a step back. You know, if he's walking towards me, I can move. So I can control the distance as much as I can, as long as I'm not in a confined space. But eventually we're going to run out of space. If you can, use your distance to get out of there. But we're going to use some techniques working off that distance. If he goes to take that step to come and push me, I can just take a step in, I can leave. That might not always work, but if you have the opportunity to just get out of there, run, take off as quick as you can. More realistically, if he's taking that step towards me, I could kick to the groin. So every time he takes a step, he has to open up those legs. That gives me that groin. Whether he steps right foot, left foot, doesn't matter. If I can't get the groin, I have the leg. So if he takes a step, I could stop it with my side kick. My longest weapon, which is my leg, compared to his shorter arms coming at me, plus with my distance, is going to help. If I try to do that from here, he's going to get here before I can get there, or my kicks and my strikes are going to be jammed up. So again, keeping my proper distance, he goes to reach for me, I can throw that kick, step back, and I can get out of there. If he takes a step at me again, I could side kick towards to the knee or towards the ankle. And I want to make sure that he's running into it, or I'm snapping that kick and I'm getting out of there, almost like I'm pushing off of him. So if he puts his foot forward, I want to push and make myself move this way instead of trying to push and go closer to him where I can get hit if I miss. Same thing with my kick to the groin. I don't want to kick and come in here because he's going to be bending over. We might get into a grabbing or punching match from here. I want to extend backwards with my kick, reaching further away if I can. So that's one of our first confidence builder, kicking to the groin, kicking to the knee. If he is coming with that push and I can't get that kick, I can start working what he's giving me, which is those fingers. So if he goes to push at me, he's either pushing me or trying to grab me. He's giving me those fingers. So I don't want to reach for them. I want to kind of let him bring it towards me. As I step back, I'm going to just put my hands up. Once I make contact, I'm going to reach down and start to curl him down. As he's coming down, I can knee him or I can get out of there. You can grab a bunch of fingers, or you can grab one or the other. He comes in again. I can just put my hand up with one. I can grab some fingers and I can go that way. If he comes in, I can put both of them up and I could circle them up. So there's a lot of different ways you can grab those fingers. Again, we're trying to work a small joint and far away from him. If I grab his fingers where I'm in close, I'm at danger of getting struck, and he's a lot stronger here. But when I get him stretched out by me moving back, I can use those fingers a lot better. It's a lot harder for him to pull that hand back, and I have more control because he's outstretched. So that's the first thing as he pushes me, is these joints, one fingers, all of them. I can split them. I can grab them any way I want to control and using those fingers. Moving on from that, maybe he was pushing my one shoulder. As he pushes my shoulder, I could let him push, and the harder he pushes, the harder he's going to throw this hand into him. And I can box his ear with a palm, I can hit him with an elbow, I can hit him with the side of my forearm to the neck, but I'm letting him use his energy. If he pushes me light, he gets hit light. If he pushes me hard, he's going to get hit harder. I like to control that hand for balance as well, but the harder he pushes, the harder he's going to get hit. And that could work on when he pushes this shoulder or if he pushes the other shoulder. And depending on what you want to do after that is entirely up to you. But using his energy is key, and you don't want to make it 2 movements. I don't want him to push and then me hit, because now I'm just using my energy by itself. And I don't want to anticipate it and try to hit him first. I want to draw him in, just like I said before. He pushes, this starts to go away, it stretches him out, and it gives me more opportunity and more power behind my shot. So I want to make him commit to his attack instead of just pushing and trying to attack him first. If he pushes me with 2 hands instead of just 1 on each shoulder, I'm going to use that push to assist with my kick. So as he's pushing me in, as I go back, I'm going to grab onto these if I need to for support or just so that I don't get hit. But I'm going to lean back, fire my kick up and back. Just like before on my shoulder, the harder he pushed my shoulder, the harder the other one went. The harder he pushes my shoulders back this way, the faster my foot is going to come up. And again, I can hit with anything from the tip of my toes all the way up to almost my hip, depending on how close or how far away he is. Again, him stretching himself out and not expecting something from behind. If he's pushing up top, he's so focused up here, this comes out of nowhere, right up, and I'm lifting him right out of his shoes as hard as I can, and I'm getting back down. And then you can start going into some of the other techniques. If he pushes, I can kick from here, and then I can start grabbing the fingers if I need to and get out. Say he got past all that, my distance, I wasn't paying attention, I'm looking this way, I turn around, and he puts some hands on me. Again, he can't hold on that good. He can follow me though, so if I have the opportunity, he puts hands on my throat, if I can get out of there quick, I can get out of there. But if my back is against the wall, or as he chokes me, as I start to move, he keeps following me, I don't want to do that. So to stop him from following me, I'm going to put something in the way. So when he grabs me, as I turn, I'm going to stick my fingers straight out towards his throat. Again, I can throw this as a shot, or I can dig it in, I can reach and grab, or I can even go up towards the fingers. That's going to stop him from wanting to continue to go forward. I don't want to leave it there so he can grab it. I just want to use it as a shot, and I want to get out of there. So he grabs again. As he's grabbing, I step, I push, and I can get out. Same thing goes if I want to control. I can step, I can strike, and I can start grabbing these fingers, or I can continue with whatever else I want from there. But basically, he's choking me. I don't want to be choked. I want to move. If he's following me, I need to put something in the way. I want to avoid the kicks and the knees from that spot. If he grabs me with the choke, I want to avoid kneeing and kicking, because that's going to bend him down into me, which could turn into more grabs. If you don't have anything else, those knees and grabs work, or knees and kicks work good. There's lots of different ways to get those hands off of you if he's choking. One of our blocks that we use for a hook punch or a roundhouse punch, we call it our confidence builder block. When he throws his hook punch, I'm going to block the punch with my hand bent. At the same time, I'm going to check his other shoulder or his hand. That way, I'm not going to focus too much on one and get hit by the other, or a combination type strike. So as he comes in, I want to check that shoulder and continue with my block. I want to protect my groin so I can't get kicked, and then I can come right off with a nice hard elbow. You can do whatever strikes you want, but keeping it as simple as possible. When he comes in, I can check, hit with my elbow, and I can get out of there. I can also come off with the same hand he punches. I can check here, I can elbow with this one, and I can get out of there. I can slow his strike down, just like we did in the beginning, whether it's a push or a punch. If I see him punching, I can kick and then check that hand. So if he punches, the confidence builder is I'm turning away from the punch. So I don't want to go towards the power of the punch, and I don't want to back up where he's just going to follow through with another shot as he comes at me. I'm going to complete the circle, and I'm going to move towards the opposite hand. Again, once I hit, again, I can check the shoulder, or check the hand, or check the shoulder, and I can be striking these as well. And I want to make sure that my wrist is bent over so it doesn't slide over. I want to kind of flick my fingers over this way and kind of make this little trap for that hand. If it goes to slide up, it's going to take my hand with it. If it goes to slide down, I can protect it with my shoulder. And again, if he goes to punch, I can kick first and then jam this or strike here, coming off with my elbows. Another one that we use if we're not sure what hand is going to be thrown, the right or the left. If I have proper distance and I see him close that fist and he cocks that hand back, when he goes to throw that hook punch, I can see that that side's coming. It gives me the time to go there. If I'm not sure if it's this hand or this hand, we have what we call a clap block, which covers both. So instead of me moving in, I'm going to move back when he throws whichever hand. I'm going to clap and I'm going to hit my hands together and shoot them out. And what this does is it covers this big area in front of me. If he punches straight, I can clap on this side. He punches straight, I can clap on that side. Same hand. I can be on the inside, same hand, or I can go on the outside. But I want to move a little bit. If he punches straight, and if I stay right here, I'm going to get punched in the face. But if I use the clap block with some movement, I could control whether it's left or right, or a hook punch or a straight punch. So if he throws the right hook punch, left hook punch, right straight, left straight, either way. And all those, again, I could start with my kick. He goes to throw that punch, I can kick as I clap. The kick, the long range weapon, it distracts the low line. It gets his brain from up here to down there for just a split second so that it takes a little bit power off of those punches and gives me the opportunity to get in there or get out. That's always an option as long as you have that long distance. The idea of the clap block is the harder I clap my hands, the harder they're going to bounce out, and I'm using this whole edge of my hand to protect. So he comes in again with the hook punch, clapping from here, again keeping my distance if I need to. If he comes in with the hook punch, I can do the same thing and then I can come off. Again, if you realize that it's a hook punch and he throws that hook punch, I can step in and come off with my strikes, and then we can go into some controlling from there. The idea is the confidence builder should be simple, quick, to stop what he's trying to do and to get out of there. You might have to do more depending on the threat of the attack or your surroundings, if you can get away fast. But the main goal is this person's being aggressive. I want to keep my distance. If I can't keep my distance, I need to use my long range weapons. If he gets past those, I have to start working and neutralizing the attacks that he's giving me. If he's grabbing my wrist, I have to get that wrist off, because if I can't get that wrist off, I can't worry about the other punch yet, because I have to get rid of this first. So getting rid of that first, and then I can deal with whether another attack is coming or if I have to get out of there. So realize what the threat is first, neutralize that. Main thing is to get out of there. If he chokes me, and if I get out, but then I try to go back in to do something and then I get hit and I get knocked out, that's bad on my part. If I was able to get away, I want to continue to get it away. Those are a couple of simple confidence builders that you can do. We'll go through them pretty quick one more time. He goes to push, I'm just going to get out of the way. He comes to push, I can kick. He comes to push, I can side kick. He goes to push, I can slide back, I can grab fingers any way I want. Okay. If he pushes one shoulder, I can use that. If he pushes the other shoulder, I can use that. If he pushes both shoulders, I can use that. If he's choking me, if I can get out of there, good. If I can't, I put something in the way. Okay. If he's throwing a hook punch, I check that other hand or that other shoulder, I come off with a sharp elbow. If I'm not sure if it's a right or left hook punch, I can throw my clap block. Again, I can come off or I can kick and I can get out of there. couple of simple confidence builders that you can practice or you can think about in your training.